You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
What's poppin', friends? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. And welcome back to Chelsea News. Yes, Chelsea News, that's right. A few days before the season starts again. 6 days for us. We're playing Liverpool away at Anfield. Of course, we'll match preview that, I imagine, later in the week. But today I do want to speak about some news. There's a bunch of stuff being circulated around the media. Chelsea looking at a midfielder to come in, potentially. I suppose more of a functional midfielder, Samuel Ricky. We can talk about that. Milan have made new contacts to sign Carney Chukwuemeka. Chelsea no longer in talks for Gabriel Mek. There's been positive noise around Renato Veiga, of course, since he made his international full debut for the Portuguese national team, playing well for Chelsea, and will have to step up almost certainly in Anfield next weekend. And I do want to speak a little bit about the Tommy Tuchel England job. I know it's not exclusively Chelsea, but he was a Chelsea manager. I'm an England fan, and I just want to speak very briefly on that as well. So, lots to get into as always. I thank you for hanging out with me here on the channel. Thank you for supporting the content as always. It's easy to do so. Just drop a like, tap of your thumb, click of a button. Subscribe if you want to, if you choose to do so. Hit the bell, baby. Let's go. All right then. So, yeah, let's start off with just a little bit of Tommy Tuchel talk, eh? As you can see here, he is by far the heaviest favourite to take over Lee Carlsey interim. Lee Carlsey's 4-1 now. 25% chance. Whereas Thomas Tuchel is 1-2 odds on, bro. Reference, if you put a £1 bet on, you get £1.50 back. That's how short the odds are. Incredible. Apparently there's been talks in the German media that he's met up with the England FA. Now we've known actually, before he got the Bayern Munich job, not too long after he left Chelsea, he was being linked with the England job, but he wanted it, that he threw his hat in the ring. When, I think it must have been after the Euro 2021 Euros, I guess. Must have been after, where we got to the final. We didn't know if Southgate was going to walk away or not. Or was it after the World Cup in Qatar? Anyway, I forget. Point being, Tuchel was like, yeah, I'll take that job. I'll take it. It must have been for the World Cup. Anyway, Tuchel loves working in England. He loves living and working in England. He obviously knows English footballers very well. And yeah, I would like it. I would like Thomas Tuchel to become the England manager. If you give me a choice of anyone, then I would say Pep Guardiola, should he leave Manchester City. Because Guardiola, of course, he's always spoken about how he'd quite like to manage an international team. And he's not going to manage Spain because of the whole Catalan thing. So he's not going to manage Spain. I can't see him managing a South American team. Maybe he could manage a Brazil or something, but he's already well known in England. It's just because if you can get Pep, you get him, don't you? But Tuchel would be great. Tuchel is he's absolutely mega fluent in English, and he's quite charismatic and gregarious with his English speaking. He's amazing at knockout tournaments. I think he got us to every single final but one when he was Chelsea manager. Of course, he lost in some finals, often to Liverpool and stuff, but he was really good at knockout competitions, of course, winning the biggest and best one in the Champions League against the biggest and best team in Man City. So as an England fan, I would like to see that. And as a Chelsea fan, I would like to see that as well. Who would he call? I mean, obviously Reece James. We spoke about Reece James yesterday at length. Go watch that video if you haven't seen it yet. I'm just trying to think. He wouldn't call up Mason Mount now, would he? I wonder, what England players would he call up? Probably Ben Chilwell, because he'd play left wing back and he'd be like, yeah, just get Chilwell back in there, see if he's fit. Be very, very interesting. Let me know what you guys think about Tuchel to England. All right. Plenty to get onto today. I did quickly want to mention as well, many of you may have seen that video of Noni Madueke speaking with Levi Colwill to Chelsea on their YouTube channel and socials. And Noni said something about Levi and Wesley Fofana's partnership, which is something I've been speaking about at length here on the channel. I sometimes get like a bit of stick from you guys in the comments that I'm just a basically Fofana super fan, and I'm going too big with the praise. But I'm pleased Nonny said something that I've been saying, that they're like, he said polar opposites, but I think he was trying to say it in a complimentary way, which is something I've been saying, that they complement each other very well, and they're very, very different. You know, Levi is the sort of sit back, play make, loads of passes, and sweep, whereas Wes is very, very aggressive. He's a ball carrier. He's a he progresses with the ball up the pitch, and he's very combative. So he sort of goes and Cole stays. Do you know what I mean? And I think they do sort of complete each other and they complement each other. Of course, Tosin's a very good defender, a right-footed defender that can play next to Colwill, and I've got no issue with him coming in at all. He's a very good defender, but of course he's a lot older. He's 27 now, I think, Tosin. He's still young in football, of course it is, but do you know what I mean? But in terms of cultivating a long-term partnership, a long-term relationship that with qualities that complement each other, is Fofana and Colwill. So I'm pleased Nonny said that on that video, and I wanted to just say it again. Rightio then, let's have a look at this. This is Court Offside. Chelsea rival Arsenal, Manchester City for potential €50 million transfer. Ooh, just quickly pressing buttons there. Chelsea are reportedly the latest club to show an interest in a potential transfer of Torino midfielder Samuel Ricky, who is also wanted by Arsenal and Man City, as reported exclusively from Court Offside last week. The talented Italy international has really caught the eye of late, and seems there is a growing interest in his services, as Chelsea are now also mentioned alongside Milan as suitors in a report from Milan Live. Chelsea had to sell Conor Gallagher in the summer. Did we have to? We did. There's perhaps a case of them bringing in another midfielder in the near future, though it remains to be seen if Ricky would be happy to go at Stamford Bridge to find himself behind Fernandes and Caicedo in the pecking order. Well, we do have a B team. We have a B team that plays cups and in European games, and you have the opportunity to break into the first team. So I don't think Torino are in Europe. Please do correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't checked. They have been before, but I'm not sure they are. But Chelsea, touch wood, consistently in Europe. And we'll talk about Carney in just a moment, potentially going out the door. I can't necessarily see Cesare Casadei being a long-term squad member. There is scope for a midfielder to be signed. And actually, until, Romeo Lavia, very good, but until we know the full fitness situation of Lavia, he's kind of not quite Reece James level yet, but we're still concerned about him. But even then, bro, you need 4 good functional midfielders at least. And you're kind of looking at, because Dewsbury Hall is still an attacking midfielder, isn't he? He's not that like functional sort of defensive midfielder. So you got Caicedo, Fernandes, Lavia, and you probably could do with one more. Sources have told Court Offside that Ricky would likely cost around €50 million to sign from Torino, so it remains to be seen if Chelsea will realistically spend that kind of money on a player who wouldn't necessarily be a starter due to there already being plenty of quality in Enzo Maresca's side. Man City could be looking at him as well. Of course, Rodri's long-term injury, maybe they're coming for him in January. And and Jorginho and Thomas Partey coming to the end of their contracts at Arsenal. The Arsenal could look at him as well. So apparently, he's a player that lots of top teams want. Arsenal, City, they're, top of the pops really in the Premier League at the moment, as loath as I am to admit. And if they want this geezer, he's probably good. So I'm not going to do a stats dive on him just yet, because it's just pointless until the story develops and, grows legs. And then if it does look like it could happen, we'll look at the stats together and we'll see wild one. Let's move on, shall we? Right. Just quickly then, Gabriel Mech. Talks to sign Gabriel Mech have collapsed from Chelsea. Of course, this is a 16-year-old Brazilian sensation. A deal worth €24 million, but still, 16-year-old was close. However, They have backed out from negotiations, and the Brazilian was kid with concerns regarding his performance. Firstly, he's meant to be an insane talent, this kid, and lots of people who know about wonder kids and stuff, they were saying, wow, Chelsea going to sign Gabriel Mech. Fine, and I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, this whole like kindergarten club thing was doing my head in, do you know what I mean? And to be honest, we've got Pies coming. I know he'll be 18, so he'll be an old man by the time he comes to Chelsea. Esteval Willian, who we spoke about yesterday as well, they'll be arriving at Chelsea in this upcoming summer, bro. We don't need to spend silly money on these teenagers. I know Chelsea will continue to do it because they see it as an intelligent model to generate revenue. Again, a recent example that we've demonstrated, that we've used to demonstrate that is Amari Hutchison, who we got for very, very little from Arsenal and sold him to Ipswich for a lot of money, over 20 million. And they will see that as huge. That validates their transfer plan. So we will continue to see it. But I'm not going to cry over not signing Gabriel Mech, mate. But young, talented midfielders, of course. Carney Chukwuemeka. I'm going to read this off Chelsea.news. Which cites about Simon Phillips' work, of course, Chelsea writer with sources at the club. He's put up updates online. There's a few situations as we approach January, of course. Current players already at the club seeking moves away. Carney Chukwuemeka will certainly be placed in this category this winter. There were even late links to Turkey in the summer transfer window. Of course, the Turkish window opens later. He reports that Milan, big boy Milan, with friggin' Tammy Abraham now there, Fikayo Tomori now there, Ruben Loftus-Cheek now there, Christian Pulisic now there. They are still keen on bringing Chukwuemeka in to the club, and they're going to try again in January after failing to land him in the summer. Chelsea at that point were pushing for the player to move to Milan, who was also keen and had probably more suitable offers. My glasses are steaming up again. Been outside, they're freezing. Suitable offer that Chelsea wanted to do on the table. Carney wants the move because he wants to play football, apparently, understandably. He was also keen on the move to Crystal Palace, as the idea. He should have gone to Palace because he would have given them something. I know he's not a Michael Elise type player, and they did sign a couple of other players, but he would have been good, bro, for Palace. So Cy Phillips is saying that Milan still want to sign Carney, that they believe it would be a permanent deal or at least a loan with an obligation to buy. Fair enough. This is why I talk about that previous guy as a midfielder for us to sign, because we've got so many attacking midfielders. Look, Carney's sick, bro. It says, look, they'll try again. And obviously, Milan have loved signing players from Chelsea. Not just, obviously, Tammy didn't come from Chelsea directly, but Tomori, Pulisic, Giroud, they love Giroud, and they love Ruben Loftus-Cheek. They love signing from Chelsea. They do. And the fans will probably be like, another one? Bring him on down. We'll have him. So it would not shock me whatso if they're going for Carney Chukwuemeka. Great player. I love him. Loads of Chelsea fans, understandably and rightly, I guess, want to see him given a chance. And we don't know his ceiling yet. It's very, very, he's kind of unique how he plays. He is kind of tall, a little bit lanky, but is really technically gifted. Good close control. Good at holding the ball up in like the 18-yard box. Really, really good attacking midfielder. He's got to be playing towards goal, though, and relatively near goal. I don't think he's going to be a prolific goal scorer, but he's going to be a really useful tool in and around the box. Like, he's the kind of player that I think Eden Hazard would have liked to play. I feel like Eden Hazard always liked a target man, but if you could give him a target man and a Carney in the box, I think he would have loved to combine with these kind of players. Bit of a, shout. Maybe it's because baby Eden Hazard on the wall there made me think of it. Anyway, should we talk about, let's talk about old Rena Vega. Where's my transition being a bit buggy today? Yes, so there is a national newspaper that's been talking about Renato Vega, who's hot topic at the moment. The Chelsea Chronicle writes this: Enzo Maresca has got off to a good start to life at Stamford Bridge, with just being named manager of the month, of course, for September. The Italian has impressed so far with his ability to manage the relatively large squad at his disposal. With the mood seeming very high at this stage, it is a bit large, but it's still fine. And considering he's playing 2-11s, it's totally fine. On the new signings, only Jadon Sancho has so far nailed down being a starting role on a regular basis. However, there will likely be more to show as the return to Liverpool, of course. And one of those is Renato Vega, who could and probably will replace the suspended Marc Cucurella at left back. And yes, he's just made his international debut, and he impressed the Portuguese star, and Spanish media have actually described him as the new idol for both club and country. Chelsea idol? Portuguese idol? He's very young, and everyone's very exciting. Oh, Jogo share this, quote, a gem that was hidden in the Swiss League, and I agree with that. A gem hidden in the Swiss League. Absolutely. After leaving Sporting, of course, his home country, and Sporting in his home country, almost through the back door. Get him out of there. Enzo Maresca and Roberto Martinez didn't let him get away. Well, Chelsea didn't let him get away. I'm not sure Enzo Maresca had much to... Maybe he did have much to do with signing Renato Vega. Who knew? Maybe he did. Maybe he spoke to him. He's a new idol of Portugal and Chelsea. So we paid under £12 million for him. I believe it's like £11.9 million. Played to Basel at the beginning. It's starting to look cheap. Absolutely. I mean, it looked cheap even before I knew who he was. When I heard him in his first interview and he's like, yeah, I speak 6 languages and I'm very confident and I'm just so pleased and to be honoured to be Chelsea. I was like, well, we should have paid twice as much for this boy. Listen to him talk. I love him. And then, of course, he's played well. Not amazingly, but well. And he's versatile. Centre-back, left-back, central defensive midfield, I believe they call it. He's got a good touch, very close to perfection in passing. Wow, this newspaper is absolutely loving him up. And a powerful shot make him very complete for his age, and with a privileged physique. He is absolutely stacked. He's tall. He's a big boy. I imagine he will come in for Cucurella at left back. Yeah, he's a cult hero already. He's like celebrating with the Chelsea fans. Like I said, he speaks very well. These kind of, look. I'm not gonna. Okay, I was gonna reference how I wished Reece James spoke a bit better about Chelsea and stuff. Asserted himself. Like if he spoke like Renato Vega, he would be like my captain. Look, Vega's what, 20, 21, or recently 21 if he's turned 21. Yeah, super big. He needs to sort out some of his tackling. Gives away silly for free kicks in vulnerable areas, but boy, what a player. And yes, the media, international media, rightly talking about him. All right, man. What do you think, guys? Let me know. Leave your thoughts down in the comments. As always, I'd invite you to drop a like and subscribe. Road to 200,000 subscribers here on the channel. So thank you very much for subscribing. I'm very tired, so I'm going to end it there. And I hope to see you guys back here very soon. Mwah! Peace.